Hi, in this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to make a pair of dangling earrings. The tools that you're going to need for this tutorial are a pair of flat nose pliers, a pair of needle nose pliers, and then some wire cutters. You're going to need a bunch of beads, so let's go over them. You're going to need 2 black cubic zirconia beads, 4 small turquoise beads. You're going to need 6 freshwater pearls, and then you're going to need some metal spacer beads. Now for the findings, you're going to use 2 head pins and 2 eye pins, and then you're just going to use 2 ear wires. So to get started, we're going to take one of our eye pins and we're going to bead it. We're going to start with one of the pearl beads. So we'll just string that on, and then just take one of your turquoise beads and put that one on next, and then take one of your metal spacer beads and put that one on. And then we're going to put one of our black cubic zirconia beads on, followed by another metal spacer bead, followed by another turquoise bead, and finally we're going to put our pearl on. And then that will finish our first part of the earring as far as the pattern goes. And now all we're going to do is just loop it around to match the other side. So to do that, you're going to take your flat nose pliers and you're just going to grab on the end as close to the pearl bead as possible onto the wire and just bend it backwards. Not quite 90 degrees, but a good amount. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit of the excess wire off because I don't want my loop to be too big. I want to try and match it to the other side there. So now to make the loop, you're going to take your needle nose pliers and just grab the end of the wire with your needle nose pliers and just go a few centimeters up the needle nose pliers. Just kind of use your judgment on how big the loop's going to be. And then you're just going to grasp the length of the wire where the beads are and then just kind of wrap it around until it meets the other side. And the reason we bent the wire backwards before we wrapped it was so that when we wrap it, if you can see, my loop is straight up. If we were to just leave the wire straight up and wrap, then the wire would be bending forward. The loop would be bending forward and it wouldn't look right. So now I have this one finished. I'm going to put that aside. And now I'm going to string on my pearl bead that I want to be dangling off of this part. So this is where you're going to take one of your head pins, and then you're just going to take one pearl bead and put it right on there. And then once again, you're going to take your flat nose pliers and grab the wire as close to the pearl bead as you can and just bend the wire backwards, just like that. And then you're definitely going to want to trim a bit of wire off of this. So let's see, that looks about right. You can see I trimmed off, I have about a ½ an inch here. That should be plenty. And now I'm just going to make a loop, just like I did with the other one. So now I have my loop. And now all we're going to do is we're going to connect them. So to connect them, you're going to want to open one of the loops. So in order to do that, you're going to want to grasp with your flat nose pliers right on the loop, and instead of pulling it back, you're going to want to kind of swing it out. You never want to pull it back because that can weaken the wire, and then a lot of times it will break. So just kind of swing the loop out a little bit to open it. And then just hook it right onto there, to the long part of the earring. And then you're just going to swing it back in the opposite way to close it. And then that's all there is to that. And now we're just going to connect it under your wire. So you can either open the end of the bead, the beaded eye pin, or you can open your ear wire. I'm going to open my beads, the loop that I made on the end of these beads here. So I'm going to swing it out. I'm going to connect my ear wire, and then I'm just going to close it. So there I have one finished earring. Now just repeat with the other side, and you'll have a matching pair. Here I have my finished pair of earrings. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.